Chapter 6, Part 3, King Louis the 13th. Okay. So they're downstairs, sire, and with your permission, La Chesnaye will tell them to come up. Yes, have them come immediately. It's nearly 8 o'clock, and I'm expecting a visit at 9. Goodbye, Duke, and be sure to come back. Come in, Travell. The Duke bowed and left. Just as he opened the door, the Three Musketeers and D'Artagnan, preceded by La Chesnaye, appeared at the end of the stairs. Come here, my brave young men, and take your reprimand, said the king when he saw them. The Musketeers bowed and walked toward him. D'Artagnan followed them. The 4 of you have killed or wounded 7 of His Eminence's guard in the last 2 days, the king went on. That's too many, gentlemen. At that rate, His Eminence will lose all his guards within 3 weeks and have to recruit new ones, and I'll have to have the edict strictly enforced. I don't object to 1 or 2 from time to time, but I repeat that 7 in 2 days is too many, much too many. Yes, it is, your majesty, said Travell, and that's why they've come to you, contrite and repentant, to ask forgiveness. Contrite and repentant, said the king. I don't trust those hypocritical faces, and I see that one of them is also a Gascon face. Come here. Realizing that this compliment was addressed to him, D'Artagnan stepped forward with his most woeful expression. You told me he was a young man, Monsieur de Treville, but he's only a child. Is he really the one who wounded Suzac so seriously? Yes, and Bernajoux too. Incredible. Furthermore, your majesty, said Athos, if he hadn't rescued me from Bascaret, I wouldn't be here now to pay you my humble respects. He's a real demon, exclaimed the king. I'm afraid he's going to leave a great many punctured doublets and broken swords in his wake. Tell me, Travell, Gascons are still poor, aren't they? Sir, I must say that no one has yet found any gold mines in their mountains, though the Lord owes them such a miracle as a reward for the day in which they supported your father's claim. What you're saying, Travell, is that since I'm my father's son, the Gascons put me on the throne. Well, I won't contradict you. La Chesnaye, go and search on my pockets for money, and if you can find 40 pistoles, bring it to me. And now, young man, tell me honestly how it all happened. D'Artagnan related his adventure of the day before in all its details, how he had been able to sleep because of the prospect of seeing His Majesty, and how had he joined his friends the hours before time of the audience, how they had gone together to the tennis courts, how the fear he had shown at nearly being struck in the face by a tennis ball had led to his being mocked by Bernajoux, who nearly paid for his mockery with his life, and how Monsieur de la Trumelle, who had nothing to do with it, nearly paid for it with the loss of his house. That's exactly how the Duke told me the story, murmured the king. Poor Cardinal, 7 men in 2 days, and 7 of his best ones, too. But that's enough, gentlemen, enough. You've had your revenge for what happened on the Rue Férou, more revenge than you needed. Be satisfied with it. If you're satisfied, sire, said Travell, we are too. I am satisfied, replied the king, taking a handful of gold coins from La Chesnaye and giving them to D'Artagnan. And here's the proof of it. In those days, our modern ideas of pride had not yet come into fashion. A nobleman could receive money from the king's own hand and not feel at all humiliated. D'Artagnan therefore pocketed the 40 pistoles that His Majesty had given him and thanked him profusely. The king looked at the clock. It's 8:30. Leave now, since I'm expecting a visitor at 9, as I said. Thank you for your devotion, gentlemen. I can count on it, can't I? Oh, yes, sir, the 4 friends all cried out at once, and Porthos added, We'd let ourselves be hacked to pieces for you. Thank you, but try to stay in one piece. You'll be more useful to me that way, said the king. As the others were withdrawing, he turned to Travell and lowered his voice. There's no vacancy in the Musketeers, and furthermore, we've decided that no one can be admitted into them without first serving an apprenticeship. I therefore want you to place that young man in the company of guards commanded by your brother-in-law, Monsieur de Essarts. Ah, Travell, I can't wait to see the look on the cardinal's face. He'll be furious, but I don't care. I'm within my rights. He dismissed Travell with a friendly gesture. Travell rejoined his musketeers and found D'Artagnan dividing up his 40 pistoles with them. And, as His Majesty had predicted, the cardinal was furious, so furious that for a week he did not come to the king's card game. This did not prevent the king from greeting him graciously, whenever they met, and saying in his most sympathetic tone, Tell me about those poor guards of yours, Bernajoux and Suzac. How are they doing? Up next, Chapter 7.